Hi, I'm Andre Chuk with Canadian Cycling Magazine, and today I'm going to introduce you to power meters. Power meters is one of the most effective tools that you as a cyclist can use to track your progress and to help you improve. But there are a lot of different options, and I am going to go over some of them to help you decide which one will be right for you. There are a lot of different power meters, but all the major power meters today uses strain gauges and are what's called direct force measuring devices. Essentially, what they do is they measure the microscopic deflection that you create in either the wheel or the crank when you pedal. And by measuring that, it is able to calculate the force and the amount of power that you're putting out. And with a recording head unit, it can paint a very detailed second-by-second picture of exactly what you're doing as you're riding. So let's dive in and take a look at the options that we have available to us. The first one we're going to look at today is the SRM. It measures power at the crank arm spider, and this is a great option for someone who only generally rides one bike but have a lot of wheel sets already, or anticipate that they'll have a lot of different wheel sets. The crank-based option allows you to run any wheels you want, and you'll still be able to get power. It's independent of the wheels, so it's a great option that way. However, the SRM is very expensive. This Dura-Ace option is about $4,000 with the associated head unit. And about every 2 years or so, you're going to need to send it back to SRM for servicing, to replace the battery and to calibrate. So it's expensive and it's a little bit high maintenance. An alternative crank-based option that's a little bit more budget-friendly is Powertomax, a new power meter from Germany. It also measures power at the spider, and it has a user replaceable battery. And it runs about $1,300 with the crank arm, or if you have a compatible rotor crank already, you can buy just the power meter for about $900. A new option that's come from a partnership from Look and Polar is the Look Polar power meter pedal. The strain gauges are in the spindle of the pedal, and it measures the force that you're putting out, and it will transmit to a head unit like any other power meter. The Look Polar meter is a very accurate unit, and it's also very portable. So it's a good option for someone who travels a lot, and maybe rent bikes when you go to places instead of bringing your own bike. You still want to have power, or you have a few bikes that you want to swap it around. One thing to consider with the Look Polar meter is that it is only compatible with a Polar head unit. So if you have a Garmin or a Cyclops Jewel or any other A&T Plus device, it is not compatible, so it limits your options somewhat in that regard. The last power meter we're going to talk about today is a Parrot App, which is a hub-based system and is one of the oldest, along with SRM, and a very established player. The strain gauges are in the hub, and it measures the power there and sends it to a head unit just like any other. It is A&T Plus compatible, so you can use any head unit you want, Garmin, Cyclops Jewel, Timex. So it gives great flexibility that way. It also is very easy to swap between bikes. If you can swap a wheel, you can install the Power App. So it's great for someone who has multiple bikes that they want to use the same power meter, don't want to have to buy more than one. Or if it also makes it very easy to lend out to a friend to try out, or to share between, say, a couple. It does limit you to the wheel set that it's built into. So if you want to use another wheel, well, you're not going to be able to measure power unless that wheel also have a power tap in it too. So that's something to consider. A training wheel set from PowerTap, an alloy training wheel set, will cost about $1,600, although you can buy just the rear wheel for about $1,300. If you build it into something like this Zip race wheel, it'll of course cost you considerably more. As you can see, there are lots of different good choices if you're in the market for a power meter. The question is, which one's right for you? And to answer that, you'll want to think carefully about what kind of a rider you are, what you want to do with it, and what your budget is. And you may also, if you have a coach, he or she would be a great resource for you to check in with. Or you can also check cyclingmagazine.ca, where we have in-depth reviews of all of these different parameters to help you make your decision.